head test between Three Broadband's fixed IP service and AIS's fixed IP service, I found that Three Broadband does not even come close to delivering what they say they deliver, um, domestically or internationally. I've been a network engineer for 25 years. I've ran system integration companies in Asia and America for some of the largest system integration companies. I've worked for some of the largest internet companies, and I know a few things about the internet. Okay, so the test that I ran today was probably the best test that you could run, a head-to-head test. Um, yes, things can change throughout, depending on the traffic load throughout the course of a day. But it was early Saturday morning. I ran this test at 8 o'clock in the morning. I should not have been a heavy internet load. Um, but Three Broadband just failed at it miserably. I just installed their service yesterday, and I still have the AIS server still in my house. Both of them are fiber optic. AIS is an 80/30 package. Three Broadband's a 130 package. Three Broadband's package is quite a bit more expensive than AIS's package. It's $1,700 a month. So let's take a look at their product marketing on their fixed IP service, their internet lease line they call it, and let's see if it lives up to what they say it lives up to, based upon the internet test that I did earlier this morning and what the salespeople, of course, told me as well. So, high performance internet service for organizations that need stability and speed. Well, I would say right off the bat, that statement is completely wrong. Okay, they have neither stability or speed. I have 100/30. The test I've been running since it's been installed into my house has been running about 65 download. Of course, that's using Ookla for domestic service. It's been doing about 65 and 20 something, 25. So I'm not getting stability or speed that they're talking about. I also ran on the previous test an international test to test out to San Francisco and London and Dallas and Sydney, Australia, and Frankfurt, Germany, and AIS won most of those tests. You can see the earlier video that I have posted on that. So they have neither speed nor stability. That is completely wrong. Unlimited amount of data transmission. Well, that's got to be wrong because there is no company that has unlimited amount of data transmission or a network capacity for it, unless you're connected directly into the backbone of the internet, which or you are the backbone of the internet. So that's obviously marketing talk and not true. Available fiber optic network, fiber optic coverage, Bangkok and across the country. Available, well, they just got it into my area here within the last couple of months. This is why I'm trying it out, or this is why I hope their fiber node is just right down the street from me. So we decided to swap over to Three Broadband. They have an association with CAT, so I understand, which is the organization that controls the internet in Thailand. But obviously, they don't give Three Broadband very much bandwidth. But no, they don't have complete coverage across the country. But they do have some coverage. I live outside of Bangkok. They just got it into my area. Okay. Direct connection without scale, non-domestic, domestic, so don't know what that means. I'm guessing they meant domestic, and international, with full range of security solutions and on-demand solutions, as well as engineers and service centers 24 hours a day. So direct connection without scale. I don't know what they mean by that, but I guess they mean that they can scale the network up to whatever service that you want. I have the 100/30 service with them. Domestic and international. I chose the fixed IP because they told me that it was a one-to-one, domestic and international. So if I have a 100 megabit connection domestic, I should have a 100 megabit connection international. And if you look at the test I run, I think the highest one I got was like maybe 25 megabits per second to, I think it was Frankfurt, Germany, was the highest one that I got. In most cases, I found with free broadband that their upload speed exceeded their download speed. I have 30 upload, I would get say 25 upload and maybe a 10 or 20 download from free broadband. Their upload speeds exceed their download speeds, which is a little bit strange. Full range security solutions and on-demand solutions. Okay, I don't know. I'm sure there's customers that use that, but I'm not one of them. As well as engineers and service centers available 24 hours a day. Well, I called them at 8, a little after 8 this morning, after I ran my test, and told them that, hey, I'm experiencing domestic problems and international connection problems with their service. It is now 1:08 p.m. I haven't heard back from them. I just called in again about 15 minutes ago, and they said, okay, they will definitely have somebody call me back from their service support team. Like I said, I still haven't heard anything yet. So this is their little diagram. Internet node, customer, cloud, connected to the customer router, going to the link provider, triple T broadband, so that would be the fiber, leased line fiber optic cable, okay, coming into their gateway router, free BB internet backbone, so they're not the internet backbone, but I'm sure they have a connection to the internet backbone, and of course, free BB's internet backbone, they have a domestic gateway and an international gateway. Well, I would say this is a very simplified drawing, and I would say that this is what we call marketecture, okay? Marketing architecture, okay? I'm sure that their network is anywhere close to being like that. Key service features here. Support 128 kilobytes per second startup speed according to the needs of the organization. So I'm taking that to mean that they start out at 128K service, scaling up to whatever service you want. Fiber optic coverage nationwide, I just covered that. They do have coverage, but it is not exactly nationwide. I would say that was wrong. 24-hour internet connection, both domestic and international. I don't have a service, or I've never had a internet service that wasn't a 24-hour connection. Maybe there's some countries that don't have 24-hour connections, but I've worked for one of the largest system integrators in Asia that covered every country in Asia, including Thailand, and I've never heard of a service provider that doesn't provide 24-hour service. So they're reaching for things to put in here, I guess. Services with network devices and fixed IP address unlimited usage or secondary connection. So I'm taking that to mean that you can connect up other network devices. As a kind of funny thing, the service engineer did come by yesterday after it was installed, because I was having problems yesterday, and he claimed that maybe the problem that I was experiencing was because my smart TV was connected up to the internet, and that was bogging my internet connection down. So I've been an engineer for 25 years. I don't think that has anything to do with it. But for him, I asked him, well, so in his mind, why did he think that smart TV, which was not even turned on, was bogging down the internet? He said he didn't know, but that's what he thought. Okay, good service engineer. The test that I did run, that's one of the things that prompted me to start running these tests. Okay, it was this bogus information that their local service engineer is putting out. You have to understand here in Thailand that 99% of the people don't have a large background in the internet and network devices. They don't really know. These guys can spout out anything they want, and they expect the customer to believe it. And I've heard lots of them from AIS2, and I've heard lots of them from True as well. But you know, I think that, you know, I call them out on it every time and show them where they're usually wrong, and they usually are wrong. Secondary connection, ADSL backup link. So I guess you can select ADSL if you don't want a fiber optic connection. If you want it as a backup link, the connection domestic/foreign country 1-to-1. So this, as I understand it, is to me is supposed to mean that the connection that we have to the domestic, the bandwidth connection, and the bandwidth to the international is supposed to be exactly the same. If you have 100 megabit domestic, you're supposed to have 100 megabit international. I ran the international test, and I ran it to several locations. I ran it with the TestMyNet platform, which is probably the most accurate for testing testing out bandwidth for a network. I think the highest I got was maybe 30 megabit download. Okay, I can't remember off the top of my head, but you have to look at the test that I ran earlier. And but I would say that in most cases, especially with free broadband, in most cases, their download speed was less than their upload speed, which is something I haven't seen too often. So I have a 30 megabit upload speed. I'm supposed to have 100 megabit download speed, but in most cases, my download speed was like 20. I might get 25 or 26 on upload and 20 downloads. So their upload speeds are exceeding their download speeds. And yeah, there is no one-to-one coverage. Okay, maybe they're supposed to be, but I haven't seen it. Full-scale, unlimited use data collection and usage hours. Okay, good to know. But like I said, I don't know too many internet service providers that don't provide that. Statistic analysis and usage analysis. Okay, well, I only had it in here for a day. I tested it. You can look at my test. I'm looking forward to see what their statistics give me. Additional services, domain, email, web hosting, firewall, anti-spam, antivirus, logging system, managed service, etc. So why would anybody want to take additional services when they can't even provide the service that they're supposed to provide, for the internet? I certainly wouldn't. I certainly wouldn't as a customer, and I certainly wouldn't if I was a company in need of an internet solution. I wouldn't take the free broadband service. Cost-effective control due to constant monthly fees. Okay. Well, this is the internet. It's not a cell phone service. Okay. I don't know, or I haven't had, or I haven't experienced any internet service provider that that charges based upon the connection or a data or whatever for internet. There are cell phone service providers that do that, but I don't know of any internet service company that does that. 24-hour circuit and after-sales service. Well, I certainly hope it's a 24-hour circuit. It is a 24-hour circuit so far. It's just a very poor 24-hour circuit. After-sales service. No, haven't seen that yet. Called them this morning. It's 1:16 in the afternoon right now. Haven't heard from them. Technical service centers and specialist engineers in all provinces. So I just talked earlier about the specialist engineer who was at my home yesterday telling me that it was probably my smart TV that was causing the problem. Here in Thailand, they always like to start off, well, are you connected Wi-Fi or are you connected Ethernet? If you call into the call center, that's one of the questions that they like to ask. And I personally can't see why there's any difference whatsoever. If anything, the internet, the wireless connection should be faster. The wireless speeds are usually faster. You might be running gigabit Ethernet on your desktop, but you may not either. But usually you're going to get a wireless speed. But if you are, wireless is prone to interference from other wireless. And in my test, okay, I had the router set up on different channels so that they didn't overstep one another. You could get interference from other wireless routers around you, but it's completely bogus to use the excuse for these internet service companies to use the excuse that, well, you need to connect up to the Ethernet because Wi-Fi is the service that they're selling. That's what they're selling, and that's what they need to provide. And if there's an issue, then their engineers need to come and fix the customer's issues. You know, if they are receiving, interference from another router within the neighborhood that's broadcasting on the same channel, well, they need to change channels. But I'm not buying this. Well, we need to connect up Ethernet if we want to get the correct rate. Okay, so I have connected up to 3 broadband via Ethernet port, and I have found exactly no difference between the wireless and the Ethernet. They both provide poor service, and they're definitely not doing what they're advertised to do. So anyway, that's just a little coverage for people out there that don't know what what a fixed IP service is or what the internet lease line is here in Thailand. And so now you know. And you can take a look at my test that I've done on an earlier video, 3 broadband versus AIS, and you can see. And I will say too, AIS, when I first installed their service too, I had issues with them. It took months to finally get them worked out. Their services is definitely doing better. But I chose 3 broadband because of they told me that they have this one-to-one service with fixed IP. Okay. B, their node is just maybe 200 yards away from my home, their fiber optic node, and they have an association with the Communications Authority of Thailand, which is the organization which controls the internet backbone in Thailand. So those 3 things is why I went for 3 broadband. But so far, and I've only had their service in my house for 1 day now, so far it was a poor